What if I told you that most people spend their entire lives chasing the wrong finish line? Not because they're lazy, not because they're stupid, but because nobody ever asked them the one question that changes everything. A father asked his son that question on what should have been the happiest day of his life, and what happened next left them both speechless. Stay with me, because by the end of this story, you're going to want to sit down, take a breath, and rethink everything you thought you knew about success. It was one of those perfect American afternoons, the kind where the sky is blue, the air smells like freshly cut grass, and everything in the world just feels possible. A young man came running into the house, face lit up like the 4th of July, waving an acceptance letter from a university he had dreamed about his whole life. "Dad," he called out, his voice cracking with excitement. "I got in. I actually got in. Dad, I finally found my path. This is it. This is what's going to make me happy." His father, a quiet and thoughtful man, looked up from his chair, smiled warmly, and said, "That's wonderful, son. I'm proud of you. So now you'll hit the books hard and give it everything you've got?" The young man nodded eagerly. "Absolutely. And in 4 years, I'll graduate with honors, land a job at a top law firm, and start building my career." The father nodded slowly and asked, "And then what?" The son barely paused. "Then I'll work my way up, build my own practice, become a partner, maybe even start my own firm. I'll be financially independent. I'll be someone people respect." His father listened carefully and asked again quietly, "And then what?" "Then," the son said, smiling wide, "I'll get married. We'll buy a house, probably somewhere in the suburbs, nice neighborhood, good schools. We'll raise kids, put them through college, make sure they have every opportunity I ever had." His father folded his hands in his lap and asked once more, "And then what, son?" The young man laughed softly. Then I'll retire. I'll travel a little, enjoy the grandkids, sit on the porch, watch the seasons change. I'll have lived a full life, a good life. An American dream, right?" His father's eyes grew serious, not cold, but deep, and he asked one final time, in a voice barely above a whisper, "And then what?" The room went quiet. The young man opened his mouth, then closed it. He thought about it, really thought about it, for the very first time. "Well," he said slowly, "nobody lives forever, Dad. Eventually, I'll die, like everyone else." A long silence filled the room, and then the father leaned forward and asked, in a voice that trembled with love and urgency, "And after that, son, what then? What comes after all of it?" The young man stood there, frozen, and for the first time in his life, all of his plans, the degree, the career, the house, the retirement, suddenly felt like a list without an ending, like a story with no final chapter. He looked at his father with new eyes and said quietly, "Thank you, Dad. I think I forgot the most important thing." Here is what this story is really about. We live in a culture that celebrates the hustle, the GPA, the promotion, the net worth, the followers, the retirement account. And none of those things are bad. But if you build an entire life and never once stop to ask yourself what it all points toward, what it all means beyond the last breath, then you've been solving the wrong equation this whole time. The father in this story wasn't trying to discourage his son. He was trying to wake him up. Because the most dangerous kind of sleep isn't the kind where your eyes are closed. It's the kind where you're running full speed ahead and you've never stopped to ask, where am I actually going? And why? So here's your challenge today. Not next week. Today. Ask yourself the question the father asked his son. Start at your biggest goal, whatever it is, and keep asking, and then what? Until you hit the wall. Because what's on the other side of that wall? That's where the real conversation begins. Now I want to hear from you. Drop a comment below and tell me, what came up for you when you heard this story? Did it make you uncomfortable? Did it make you think about someone you love? Did it remind you of something you've been putting off? Your thoughts and your honesty are not just welcome here. They are the reason this channel exists. Every single comment you write helps me know that this kind of content matters and gives me the fuel to keep creating it. So don't scroll past. Say something real. I promise I read every word.